We are back, and today we are 1 week into MLB The Show from Early Access. That's right. It's time for my honest and true thoughts on the game so far. We're going to be giving it a score from 0 to 10, ranking it on everything. We got a lot to talk about. But maybe you're thinking about buying the game. Maybe you're thinking, how do other people feel about the game that I'm playing right now? First thing we're going to talk about is Road to the Show. We're going to do Road to the Show, then Franchise, and then a bunch of stuff with Diamond Dynasty. Road to the Show is definitely more improved this season. And it's not because of the stud-making methods, although that is personally what I like about it. But you do get to experience college. You do get to experience high school. The only thing is that it's quite short. The beginning of your career is not as expansive as you would think. There's not as many team options. That's the only downside here, but it's definitely a good building block. You can definitely see they're launching that early career aspect of Road to the Show. So it's taking a good step forward. In terms of franchise, kind of similar, just not as much. They say they improved the trade logic and some of the contract stuff. Personally, I'm calling cap. It's definitely improved. But why are we signing Vlad for 7 years, $280 million? I still feel like they have some work to do in franchise. And I'm hoping that in 2026, we're off of Switch. And I hope we're truly next gen. And I think they're going to cook up a little bit with franchise, specifically in MLB 26. Now we get into Diamond Dynasty. Where to start? The first thing we're going to start about is Team Affinity. Team Affinity, ladies and gentlemen, what are my thoughts? My initial thoughts are this. I think it's very, very nice and cool that they have 30 teams on launch. The only problem, I think that it's a bit too... It's not that it's too long. It's that the passive grind, everyone's calling, it's a passive grind. It's not. It's not a passive grind. The reason being, I grinded out so far 11 of these Team Affinities. Hopefully I'll be at 14 or 15 by the time you're watching this video, but I don't know if I have it in me, man. I grinded out these Team Affinities, and we go over, look at my team. My team is now full of Diamond cards, Team Affinity cards, so I'm not getting progress. It's not a passive. You have to target. You have to actually build a team full of a specific franchise. So if I look at the Royals, there's absolutely no Kansas City Royals on my team. But let's just say there was one Kansas City Royal. Let's just say Salvador Perez was here. I have Salvi. Salvador Perez is not getting 50 hits. Salvador Perez alone is not getting 15 home runs in the span of a lot of games. So it's hard. You have to actually want to do the team's mission. So I think that they could make this. People are saying it's a passive grind. I disagree. I think it's a very active grind. Yes, you can do it in the background, but you have to you can't play with the team you want to unlock the progress how you want. Now, in terms of if it's too long or not, I think it's a solid length considering the power group and everything. The problem is, and something that a lot of people aren't thinking of, they're going to add to this, I believe. We don't see exchanges or anything. I think once we get exchanges in here, it's going to make this go a little bit quicker than people might think. So I think the Team Affinity overall, it's a solid start. We'll see how it goes as we progress throughout the year. The one thing I'm a little worried about is they're dropping more Team Affinity programs, they said. They're not adding on to this. They're dropping a whole separate one at some point throughout the year. I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned for Team Affinity. They have some tweaking and tuning to do to the stats. And also, I wish it was a bit more of an actual passive grind where one or two guys from that team over the course of a month or two could get me some progress rather than, a lot. You need a full team of grinding. That's my thoughts on Team Affinity, but I like where we are for now. Now we go to gameplay. Gameplay. First thing to talk about, it is smooth. Offline, it is smooth. Ambush hitting, I like the addition of ambush hitting. Really, if you haven't done ambush hitting, it's not like you have to do it. The only time I use ambush hitting is if I'm getting spammed. If somebody's spamming me up and in, I'll ambush him and see you later, baseball. You definitely feel like you get a benefit out of using ambush hitting. Another thing I use ambush hitting for is on higher difficulties. If I'm on a higher difficulty that I have no, if I don't belong to be on this difficulty and I'm ambushing, I can feel like it helps. That's how I beat Diamond Quest on Go to difficulty. In fact, I'm going to record how to beat Diamond Quest on Go to difficulty coming up here soon. But if you ambush, it feels good. If you ambush wrong, it's all right. It's kind of like, you want to sit. It's a good addition to the game. I like ambushing personally. And honestly, I like it, and I don't even use it that much. So I think it's definitely something pretty cool and a good new feature. Next thing I wanted to talk about, fielding. Fielding is OP. This is the best fielding I've ever played of. I mean, I've been playing since MLB 15, and fielding feels noticeably better, noticeably smoother. Very nice. It's fluid. Like people, my fielders, I mean, outfield's cooked. Outfield might be cooked. Home run robbing is actually pretty cool. Like if you watch Road to World Series, go check that out, please. You'll see what I'm talking about, home run robbing. So home run robbing is a pretty good addition. I think it works pretty well. I'm 1 for 2 doing it. And then we got infield. Infield specifically, my fielders are moving smooth. They're making some nice diving plays. The throwing meter, it's not that much of a change, but it's solid, I guess. It's good enough. I think fielding is actually really, really solid this year. Probably my favorite thing about the game, to be honest, so far, if we're not talking about power creep. I also think the presentation is pretty good as well. I think that this, where it shows like a player's milestone, like if James Wood right here was to get his first ever triple, it shows his player card in the top left. That's a pretty cool addition as well. Something to kind of track your progress, make it feel more personal throughout the game. Last thing we got to talk about, a couple more things. First thing is power creep. The power creep is back, and it feels good. You know, I've grinded Team Affinity. I've spent countless hours against the White Sox, countless hours against the Rockies, and my team's trash. I mean, my team's good because I'm good. I feel good with them. You know, we got some dogs. Got some dogs on the squad. Some boys that can hit, put up stats. You know what I'm saying? But they're all 85s. They're all 85s, and you know, in a lot of people's books, that's trash. But that's what the power creep is, man. We're not going to be smelling 90 overall probably until mid-April, and then we're not going to be smelling 99 until probably like June. I mean, we're talking, you know, live series collections are one way to do that. Become a member, link down below, and we'll make you tons and tons of stubs. You'll have live series done by June. But I like the fact that the power creep is back. I wish that the live series cards were a bit higher overall to start. So I really hope that they're going to actually, I hope that the roster updates this year, they're going to be very, very generous. Because for live series gold to be useful, like for, I don't know. I mean, for these diamonds to be useful, like they're usable right now, but they have to keep up with that power creep. You know what I'm saying? Like 84 Jacob deGrom, he's already not usable unless they like, I don't know. I mean, you can't really make an 84 usable. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like we got to get some of these guys to diamond. We got to get some of these diamonds and higher overall. Otani's 91 overall, and I feel like in a month, you know, hopefully it's at least 95 because there's going to already be other 91s out there. But the power creep, I'm happy about that. Launch weekend. The most successful launch weekend we've had so far. I like the fact that the now and later packs, I mean, it's not exactly, you know, great that they didn't hit for early access, but I like the addition of now and later packs into the game. Hope we have that back this year. It seems like people like it. Willie Mays, nobody, I mean, I'm not going to use him personally, but getting Willie Mays, kind of a cool addition to the game as well. Again, earning rewards for the next season, that's pretty solid. But the real main storyline is that we didn't have much server issues for the first time ever. That was a massive W so far that I'm liking. And then the last thing I wanted to mention, World Series is 800, that's great and all. Am I missing anything? No. Diamond Quest. Diamond Quest is a good game mode as well. I kind of like it. It's a good stud making method. They definitely nerfed the hell out of mini seasons, which kind of sucks. But Diamond Quest, honestly, a good replacement, good way to make stubs. And it's kind of fun. Now, I haven't been playing it much because I'd rather play online. But for offline players, I think Diamond Quest is fantastic. Lastly, Weekend Classic. You don't see it here. You do see it there, actually. But Weekend Classic is going to be very fun. I think Weekend Classic is a great addition to the game as well. My final review. Should you buy the game? I think you should. But only buy it if you plan on grinding. Because it seems like it's going to be a lot of grinding this year. You know, everything's taking a lot of time to get done. With that said, I'm going to rate the first week of this game, and I'm going to rate an 8 out of 10. I think it's a props to SDS. Fair play. Good game.